Let me tell you about the time I left school in the middle of the day in elementary school. It was third or fourth grade, and um, I had this classmate, Carrie, who didn't like me, and she was very open about the fact she didn't like me. I don't know why she didn't like me, but she didn't like me. Probably for the same reason the girl in middle school didn't like me, because I never got in trouble at school. And let me tell you why I never got in trouble at school. Because way back in the 1980s, the principal of our school had a pedal on the wall behind his desk. Said pedal it was, board with a handle, had holes in it. Okay? And every school year from kindergarten on up, my mother made it a point to tell my younger sister and I that she did sign the permission slip for Principal Whalen to pedal our butts if we ever got in trouble at school. Every year. Every year at the beginning of the school year, she made sure that we knew she signed a permission slip to give him permission to give us a whack on our butts with a wooden pedal with holes in it. Now, I didn't want to get pedaled at school with a wooden board with holes in it. Okay? I couldn't avoid getting spanked or whatever at home. I couldn't avoid that at home because I had a younger sister. But I sure as hell wanted to avoid that shit at school. Okay? So it was this one day in the spring. And because it was nice, I remember it being nice out that day. And at the time when we took scheduled bathroom breaks. So the boys would line up in one line, the girls would line up in the other line, and then our lines would go to the respective bathrooms. Okay. So I'm in the bathroom with all the other girls of my class, including Carrie, who didn't like me for some reason. But I didn't have to urinate or go to the bathroom or anything. So there was an empty stall with no toilet or anything. It was all covered, whatever. And on the stall wall, there were scratch marks on it. And some of the scratch marks were curse words. Okay, graffiti. Because when my mother was a child, she also went to that school. And that school used to go all the way up to the 8th grade. And before that, it went all the way through high school, kindergarten through 12th grade. When my mom went there in the, 50s and 60s, and went all the way to the 8th grade. So at some point, teenagers went to school in that building, and teenagers often do things that, they shouldn't be up to do. And so some of these scratches were curse words, and I was just tracing them with my finger. I had no marker, no writing utensil, definitely did not have a knife on me that day. I was just tracing it with my finger because I was bored, waiting for all the girls to finish their little bathroom chats and washing their hands and shit. And Carrie saw me doing this, and she was all like, "I'm telling Mrs. Baisley, you're writing curse words on the wall." Like she was some goody two-shoe or whatever. Well, at the time, I assumed if I got tattled on, I'd get into trouble. I would get into trouble. The reason I wholeheartedly believed that if somebody tattled on me, even if I did nothing wrong, I would get in trouble is, again, because I had a little sister who constantly tattled on me for constantly and literally everything. So at home, I was always in trouble. So he's grounded to my room or getting not my mom. Well, she used her hands, but spanked or whatever. So I was always getting in trouble at home because I was always getting tattled on. Because my little sister never did nothing wrong. And people wonder why I don't talk to her. Anyway, so my little sister was the favorite. Anyways, so I thought I was going to get in trouble. So what I did was went into a stall with a toilet, sat on the toilet with my feet up. So I hid in the stall waited for all the other girls to leave the bathroom, waited till it got quiet, and when it got quiet, snuck out of the stall, tiptoed, I literally tiptoed, to the bathroom door, peeked around, didn't see anybody in the hall, none of my classmates, no other teachers, no other kids, nobody was in the hall. So I literally tiptoed down the hall in the opposite direction of my classroom, obviously, even though I was really short and could have just walked. I mean, the doors, they were wooden doors with glass windows, but the windows were higher up. So I could have just walked right past the door. Nobody had seen me anyway, but I did not do that. I went the opposite direction of my classroom, down the hall, down the stairs to the first floor. I happened to be on the opposite side of the building where the office was and went out one of the not main doors and walked around, went down to the neighborhood park for a minute, and then I walked home because I couldn't just go straight home. I had to make sure that my mom would already be at work before I would go home. I don't know what my thinking was. Again, I was in third grade, which is what, 8 or 9? Okay. So I didn't really think too far ahead. All I thought was I did not want to get paddled. Okay. I didn't want to get in trouble and I didn't want to get paddled and call it childhood trauma, if you will. I just assumed I'd be the one in trouble because I was always the one in trouble at home. Anyway, so I finally went home. I had a key to get in the front door because even in third grade, I was a latchkey kid. So, because there was like an hour or something between my sister and I getting home from elementary school and my mom getting home from work. Okay, it's like this little hour-long thing. So I had a key to get into the house. So I go in the house and I tiptoe up to my bedroom, even though nobody was home. My stepdad was at work. My mom was at work. Now, my mom worked walking distance from our home. Like, literally went 5 houses down to the busy road. You made a left, walked 2 blocks that way, and that's where my mom worked. At the bar, right there. Anyway, so yeah, figured I'd have some time. I didn't even think about the fact that, like, I even assumed that nobody would even realize I was missing. But at some point, Mrs. Beasley realized I was missing, and that must have started the whole thing. I didn't see. The cops did not get called. I want to make that clear. They did not call the cops. So, but they did call my mom. So they call my mom at work. My mom has to find somebody to cover her at the bar because it's just her and the line cook because they served, bar food at the bar, like wings and fries and whatever. So she had to find somebody to cover her ass at the bar. So she got somebody to cover her ass at the bar. And I think she did go to the school first. And they looked all around the building for me. Couldn't find me in the school. So then she was like, I know she came to school this morning. And Mrs. Beasley was like, yeah, she did come to school this morning. And then we went to the bathroom. And then she disappeared. So my mom went home just on a whim and found me in my room. And here, a little word of advice. You might be better off getting in trouble at school. Because I sure would have been better off getting in trouble at school for something I did not do than what ended up happening. Because, oh my God, I got in so much trouble for leaving school in the middle of the day. And needless to say, from that point on, for the rest of the school year, I was heavily monitored. Okay, my teachers were like, I had a reputation until like 5th grade. So for the rest of 3rd grade, all of 4th grade, until 5th grade. All right. So, yeah. So, yeah, I did that. Okay, bye.